Welcome to the desk, Dr. Anuj Bhargava. He is here, and we're going to be talking about something that's really important and some really interesting information, especially if you have diabetes, right, doctor?
Yes, this is all about diabetes.
And also about how if you do have diabetes, either type 1 or type 2 diabetes,
Yes.
you might be able to get treatment at no cost to you. How does that sound?
Yes.
Tell us all about this.
Let me explain that. So at Iderc, our research center right here in downtown Des Moines, we are very committed to changing and helping improve the lives of patients affected by diabetes. And we're just very happy and excited that we are able to bring the latest research trials to Central Iowa. We've done so many different studies over time, and with these studies, there are a number of things that happen. So there are certain criteria. If the patient meets those criteria, they come in the study. So type 1 or type 2, different A1C level, control, etc. And with these studies, they get the medication, the study-related medicine at no cost. Sometimes there's placebo, so it's important to know that as well. They get all the care, and the time that we are able to spend with the patients is unusually long. We are able to spend so much time with them. They develop a strong relationship with us. We provide the medications, we provide the meter strips and supplies. So just lots of different things that happen and that can directly benefit the patient.
Like what has benefited you so far from doing tests like this?
So we've been able to get a lot of new medicines in the market. So like 2 years ago, we did a study with an insulin pump which can do suspend. So for example, if my sugar goes low, the pump automatically suspends for 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Now we did that research here. We were one of the only 20 sites in the nation, and that pump is now approved and in the market. So things like that get
Here in Des Moines,
very
you
exciting.
did that research.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, right here.
Now let's show your website here. We're going to show it a couple of times here, but
Yes.
this is important because this is the way to get more information on this.
Yes.
If you or someone you know has diabetes, iowadiabetes.com is where you need to go. That's the easiest thing to
Yes,
remember.
we created this site, very simple, iowadiabetes.com, and they can register there, and then they can find out more information. They can find out if they qualify for a study or not, and that's the site to go.
Well, what are you specifically looking for this next round of tests?
For example, there are many studies, but I'll give 2 examples.
Okay.
One study is the type 1 study, which is looking at patients with type 1 diabetes, 18 to 65, and they should be taking this insulin called Lantus. And in the study, they'll either be placed on Lantus or the study insulin, which is very similar to Lantus. So in effect, they get the Lantus, they get their short-acting insulins, meters, and supplies. So that's one study. Another study, for example, is
And there's
2.
how long the period is. I was just going to ask you how long the study is going to go. It's going to go over a year.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is over a year. And then the second study is type 2 diabetes, and again, 18 to 65 years of age, and they have been taking insulin with injections for the last year. And then we have many more studies of all different kinds, both type 1, type 2, some very exciting
The type
stuff.
2 diabetes we see here, it's a little less. It's less than a year, about half a year, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Now
Thank
you're
you.
talking about the benefits that come from participating in something like this. Are there any side effects or downsides that occur?
And definitely. So when there are new medicines, and we're learning about their side effects also, and that's one of the aim of doing these studies is to find out, hey, A, it works. 2, what are the side effects? Most of our studies are what we call phase 3, so they've been studied already very well in past. But again, with these medicines, there are side effects we want to learn about. And the good news is it happens in a very careful, controlled, observed environment.
So if something does happen, you're in the right place to be, so you can
Yes.
take care of it immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, and that last study we saw, 32 weeks and 14 visits. So you're seeing someone every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, and that's such an important part of these studies, the care, the time, the relationship. Some people have this, what I call the behavioral legacy, meaning their behavior changes, they check more, and years later they're still doing it because they did it in the study.
So maybe there's people that haven't been taking care of themselves very well, but they fit this
Yes.
study. You're getting them in good practice of making sure they stay on top of things.
Yes, and that's a great advantage. Sometimes people will come in, I have one patient who has come in now the 4th time into a study. He simply just says, this gets me just in the regimen that I need to be.
Keeps
These
them honest.
coordinators are watching me over very closely.
This feels like diabetes, something that we're getting close to figuring out.
Yeah.
Is the end game a cure, or is it just better treatment for type 1 and type 2?
So cure can happen for type 1, what we're trying to say, complete the loop. So that thing we keep getting closer and closer. And we are participating in a couple of trials like that to complete the loop. So for type 1, we can find the cure. Type 2 is a disease of lifestyle. So we got to control it with lifestyle. You know, the diet, the exercise, the weight loss, those are definitely key things. And one thing I'm reminded of, patients should know about is we are working very much against type 2. Technology is something that can really change diabetes. So I built a platform called mydibeteshome.com. People can go there as well and track their sugars, their medicines, their doctor visits. Diabetes is a complicated, complex disease with a heavy burden, and any help we can provide our patients, we should.
And maybe there's somebody watching right now that says, you know what, I think I'm going to try this, but what time of year do you guys start these studies up? When do they begin? Did I miss my opportunity already? When did the studies begin?
Great question. They happen year-long, so probably we start 1 or 2 studies each month.
Oh,
so it's
really?
year-long. And we encourage patients to come back to the site, iowadiabetes.com or iderc.com.
Why wouldn't
they can
you?
find it.
Is what I want to know. Are people afraid to participate in these type of studies? Do you think that might be part of it?
I think I am surprised by how open people are. Even in a study where there's a medicine and a placebo, people say, well, it's going to benefit someone else, so I want to do it. I think mostly is that people don't know that this is happening in Des Moines. That's a much bigger problem than coming in, understanding what it is. Most people are very open to this.
All right, let's take a look at the website again.
Yeah,
here
let's
to
make sure we
show
get the
everybody.
information
Yeah,
out
there it
there.
is. It's real simple to remember, iowadiabetes.com, and just fill it out, get registered, and get all the information and participate in these studies. Again, type 1, type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
One study lasts for more than a year, one about 6 months, so
Yes.
you'll be all covered then.
Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Well, wonderful. Doctor,
Great.
thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here. Good to see you
Thank you very
again.
much.
Interesting.
Thank you.
It is 8:30. We'll be right back. You're watching Great Day Live.